Hey everybody, welcome to Deep in Love Talks. It's another awesome Wednesday here in Los Angeles. Tonight we have a really cool, inspiring guest speaker. Her name is Torrey Mercer. She's
Ah,
actually from San Diego, so welcome. We're
thank
all over here in the awesome California.
yes, yes. California is the place to be. I don't know.
I'm convinced. I'm originally from Seattle myself, and this is my home forever. I got the beaches and palm trees, and I'm good.
Oh yeah, I think I'll always be somewhat of a California girl, no matter where life takes me, for sure.
I feel you. Well, Tori, give us a little background. Tell us where we know where you're from, but tell us your hobbies, where you currently live, what you kind of do. Let us get to know you.
Sure, of course. Should I talk just personally? Do you want to? Should I introduce the other stuff or any of it?
Go as personal as you want.
Cool. Okay, so hi everybody. I am Tori. I am 21. I am finishing my last year in college. That's like the official background. And so I do have a college education. I'm about to finish my bachelor's, which is exciting. I'm from San Diego, currently living in Newport Beach, California. And I have been singing and performing since I was 9 years old. Did theater for a long time, and then it's transferred over into music eventually. And I started speaking and talking about bullying and issues related to bullying. I've done a few other things as well. When I was about, it was 18 or 19 originally, I did a anti-bullying tour in 2011 when I had just graduated high school, and we traveled all over the East Coast and West Coast talking to kids about bullying. And then, yeah, it was really cool. And then within the last year, I've actually launched my own program that I've created myself, and I've gone to schools and I've done interactive activities with kids. I've spoken to them about bullying, and I've gotten a few kids to apologize for bullying in front of everybody. So it's pretty cool stuff. I'm very proud of it.
Take us way back then. What led you or got you started in the anti-bullying world to begin with?
Oh yeah, no, of course, I can definitely. Well, as I think many anti-bully advocates would say, I was bullied when I was younger, and it's a big reason why I am passionate about it. But not only that, but my younger brother, Mason, was also bullied. He has actually become a little bit of a no bully advocate himself, so I'm very proud of him. But when I was younger, first of all, in elementary school, I struggled a lot with body image with other kids because I was friends, and my mom was friends. My mom was an athlete, and she was friends with all these other athlete moms, and they had all these sporty little kids, and they were my friends because I was friends with my mom's friends' children, and so they were very sporty, and I was a little bit overweight when I was younger, and I was never really into the whole sports thing. And so I tried all these different sports, and I was never really good at them. I got teased a lot for it, and also just for my size at the time, just because I was a little chubby as a kid, and I think I was also really quiet, very introverted child, and so a lot of people just thought I was really weird, and so like that really affected like my self-esteem for a long time. I've gotten much better about it, but for years it was a big thing for me. And then middle school and high school, it was a lot of people I started singing when I was 9, so that became sort of my path. And in my journey, a lot of it was people being extremely jealous of what I do. And I had a lot of people backstab me and try to spread rumors about me and do nasty things to me because I got the lead part in a play or because I had this success with my music. And so I had a lot of people turn their backs on me, and I actually had one person turn the backs of like all of my friends at the time on me in middle school. And so like going into high school, I had like no friends, and then there was some cyberbullying that happened in high school. But yeah, I ultimately think today that those things made me who I am, and they made me stronger, so it's better now. But yeah.
So when you're a singer, which I forgot to tell the audience, singer, when did you discover your passion for singing? Where along the lines was that then?
Yeah, no, of course. That happened when I was 9 years old. It was right around when I had tried out for all those sports. Didn't really work out. I had another friend encourage me to go try out for a play. I'd never sung or performed before, and I did this play. And I remember I got voice lessons from the director of the play at the time, and she told me, even when I was 9, she was like, "This girl has a voice. She should be singing. Like, this is her thing." And so the second we figured that out, and my parents luckily were very supportive, so that's really great. They always have been. And so once they figured that out, they just wanted me to find my place, basically. And so once I found my place, it was great. And then I met a whole bunch of people. I mean, obviously, like, people came and went, but for a while, I found my home in singing and in theater. And then I would say that I started making original music and doing all of that stuff late high school, so I did mostly actually theater for a really long time, and then I ended up changing over to music in late high school, and then through college it's like really like taken off, and that's really what I want to do now. So yeah.
So is there singing in the family? Does grandma, mom, dad?
Actually, no, surprisingly. I mean, there's like, I have an aunt and I think a cousin who have done choral type singing, and more classical stuff, and they've taught it before, but they've never, I mean, I have like a pop strong belt voice, like I'm very opposite, and so a lot of them don't understand where it came from. It's really funny. Because yeah, both my parents, my dad is a doctor and my mom was an athlete, a pro athlete for a really long time, so they don't know where it came from, so it's funny. It happened.
That's awesome. Okay, so the tour for anti-bullying, how did you get started doing that?
Yeah, originally, the first one that I did, or the one that I did in 2011, I got asked by the person who was running the tour. He asked me if I would like to join, and I of course said yes. And so I got to meet a whole bunch of not only kids that way with my speaking and with singing, but also other artists. And it was because this was towards the end of high school for me, and so because of that, it was a new thing for me. And so it was like a whole new experience to meet all these artists, to be on this tour. It was really cool, and I thought it was very cool that they did that for independent artists. And so after doing that, like, I learned from the experience quite a bit, and it's really made me want to travel and do that and speak at other schools and have my own program and do all of that. And so I'm hoping to expand it and to even have more of a full tour and to be able to come to places all over the U.S. and other places even, to be able to talk to kids about it and sing and meet everybody. So that's the goal.
That's very cool. So as far as your singing career then, what are your long-term goals? Where are we going to see you in 5 years?
Oh man, that's the ultimate question. That's like, yeah. I've had many people being like, so what are you doing? What is your thing? I have a vision. I do have a vision. I have goals to, first of all, I'm expanding my music. I have 2 new singles coming out, and they are kind of relevant to anti-bullying, to self-esteem, to all of these different things, and that's really important to me. So I write about that stuff a lot, and also I wrote my very first song ever about the negative experiences I've had with girls in the past, like the mean girl dynamic, and I am about to release a single about that kind of. So there's those, and I'm hoping to, by the end of next year, I have it all arranged, but I'm hoping it'll be done. I'm going to be releasing my first EP/album by next year, and so I'm just going to keep making music in that sense, but I also really want to start this tour and to be able to talk to people and connect with them about the bullying issue, because that's really, really important to me, and I really want ultimately to help people and to influence and inspire them, and that's what I want my music to be too. I want it to be thought-provoking, and I want it to be inspiring and storytelling and all of these kinds of things, like to be real, basically. That's like what the music, it's supposed to support kind of what I do and person I aspire to be, so that's the goal, yeah.
That's very cool. Listening to you talk, you're making it sound like easy breezy, and I know that it's not. And I actually have a lot of young followers. Many of them are 16, 18. So if you don't mind, would you go into the depths of doors closing?
Of friends turning their backs and stuff?
Yeah, and what did you do to cope or get beyond it? How do you deal with that?
Definitely, yeah. So hi guys, thanks for watching if you're out there and you're in this age group. I think Okay, so this is, first of all, what I tell kids, and this is kind of my experience. So, for me, a lot of bullies that have, and a lot of bullying situations I've heard for other people as well, unfortunately, they start with somebody who you think is your friend. It's not always the case. Sometimes it's just somebody who has it out for you, and they have their own insecurities, their own reason for doing that. You don't know about it. Like everybody, there's so much going on in our lives that it's hard to know the full story with somebody. That's what I always like to tell people. But for me, it was a lot of friends or people who I thought were my friends and supporters, and then ultimately turned their back on me and did some pretty mean things. So I would say it's really important for you guys to realize. I didn't realize this at your age, and if there's one thing that I could realize, I wish I realized, it's that I'm important, and you all are important. And that means because you're important, all of you, every single one of you, you don't deserve to be treated that way, especially by somebody who you think is your friend. If someone who was your friend is treating you like this, or even, I've even seen it with relationships, you know, relationships gone awry, exes or anything like that, totally seen that happen too. If they were something to you and they meant something to you a long time ago, maybe you guys had positive memories together and so you don't want to let it go and you want to try to figure it out and you're invested in that person, and so it makes it really hard for you to shut the door. But you have to realize that people change, and if you are, I mean, if they are continually doing this to you, and you know in your heart that you're not doing anything wrong, maybe you're changing too, and you both are just growing apart, then the best thing that you can do is shut the door. It's not easy to do, and sometimes it involves emotions and it's intense stuff. But even on bullies, like there are ways that, first of all, you can try to ask them, you can try to talk to them, you can say, why are you doing this? What is your deal? Like, please talk to me. Even if you don't know the person, you can message them privately on social media and say, why are you doing this? Why are your friends doing this? And if they won't stop, you can involve adults if it's really serious. If it's a really serious situation, if it's more like drama, emotions, you don't know why this person's acting weird. There's many different situations. But if it's really serious, please do involve adults. I know it seems crazy. I remember at your age especially, I thought that, you know, adults are out to get you, and they're not impossible to talk to. They don't know what they're doing. Like, why are they always telling me to do this and telling me to do that? But really, they do care about you really deeply. I mean, there's one adult I can pretty much promise all of you that is concerned about you in some way, whether that's a parent figure or it's teachers or it's somebody or a mentor of some kind. There are people who care about you and they want to help you in some way, and it's important that those people know what's going on because they could really help you. And again, though, sometimes you sit down with those people, even with adults, you sit down and nothing really works, and like it seems like everything's going to be fine, and they put on a face for the adults and say, oh yeah, I'm done, like blah blah blah, and then they continue. You can't change people, unfortunately. Like, it took me a long time to realize that, but it's really true. Sometimes people are just going to want to continue spreading negativity, and that's on them. That reflects on them, and that's who they are, and that's who they're deciding to be. And in life, we can all decide to be either good people or bad people, and we can choose to be the best people that we can be. And sometimes people lose sight of that. And if someone you know is losing sight of that and they continue to try to target you, you do not have to give them the power. You don't have to listen to them. You don't have to put up with it. You can say, I don't deserve this. You're wrong. You can straight up tell them that they're wrong, and you can stop talking to them. And so I know it's like, it's easier said than done in some cases because I know that this stuff involves a lot of emotions, but it's important that you guys know that you're really worth something. You're worth a lot, actually. All of us are, and you deserve better.
I absolutely love it, and I couldn't agree more. I am a suicide intervention coach, and so I actually run a support group and a chat room. And I hear a lot of stories from young girls especially. They'll come in and they'll be like, I'm being bullied, and I usually ask why, what are they saying, and they'll say something like, they call me fat. And then I will say, well, are you fat? Maybe, kind of, sort of. And so I said, okay, then that's something that's already sensitive within you. So what could you do to fix that, whether that's you're not fat and you need to practice loving yourself, or learning new eating habits or healthy lifestyles. But I said, regardless, this is something my dad would always tell me. He would say, you're a princess. That's your name. That's who you are. That's the only truth. So then if anybody else comes at you with different words, you don't give them truth. So
Yeah.
they're calling you fat or a brat or whatever they say.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter because you already know here and
Exactly.
here who you
It's so
truly
true. No, it's so true. That's what I tell people all the time. I mean, I've talked to kids about self-esteem, and I've had many kids approach me after assemblies and other things, and even online, and message me saying that they're really upset and that they hate themselves, and then all these different things. And I honestly think that it is on us in many ways we can fix ourselves. No one is going to fix us for us. And I think if we try, even if we don't believe it at first, if we try to look at ourselves in the mirror every single day and say that we're beautiful, or say that we are the person we're supposed to be, if we give ourselves positive affirmation every single day, even if at first it's difficult and you're like, ugh, I don't believe this, like, just do it. Just do it. And I promise you, if over a period of time, if you did that every single day for 6 months, a year, you would be shocked at how different you'd see yourself after that amount of time.
Absolutely.
Those people have no power over you.
Absolutely. There's something I say all the time, and that's fall in love with yourself, and the rest of the world will too. If you look at some of the most attractive people that we know, it's not that they have the perfect nose, the perfect skin, the perfect eyes, the perfect body. Usually it's an energy, it's a presence, it's a smile that they're portraying that's infectious. And so then it doesn't really matter what size you are, whether you're too skinny, you're not fat enough, not tall enough, not short enough.
Right.
It's you love yourself in here, and you radiate that energy, which is attractive to other people.
Exactly. No, it's so true. Having good self-esteem and being positive, being a nice person, it will attract people to you. Honestly, I think it's the coolest thing to be. Even as an adult, like, that's what I tell kids, like, any age, like, whether they're middle school age, whether they're high school age, I tell them all, I say the coolest things to be in life, even when you're an adult and starting right now, are just being really, really nice and respecting people, and you will never be sorry for doing that.
No.
Like,
Absolutely.
there are actually studies, and there's been surveys done where people have gone into retirement homes, talked to older people, and asked them if looking back on their life, what they wish they did more of. And they didn't say, oh, I wish I looked this way. They didn't say, oh, I wish this person was my friend. I wish I'd been more popular when I was younger. They said, I wish I'd been kinder to people.
Yeah.
Said, most of them. That was the majority response. I wish I'd been more kind. And it's so important, because if you're kind to people, they will be kind to you. And if someone isn't kind to you, then they don't deserve you, because you're awesome, you know?
And I want to go back to a word you said, which is so important, and that was practice. It's not, a lot of times it's like, what's too hard? I don't believe it. It's not the truth. Okay, now you can practice. Right? I tell people, put a sticky note where you'll see it first thing in the morning. I am beautiful. I am perfect. I use alarms on my phone. I had huge self-esteem issues. I thought I was so unattractive. I hated the way I looked. I wore baggy clothes. I would hide behind gobs of makeup. I was so insecure. And I just started practicing. Sitting in front of the mirror, I'd put a Post-it note on the mirror. I'd put one in my car, so when I pulled down the mirror, I'd see it. I have alarms that go off on my phone throughout the day that remind me, hey, beautiful, keep smiling. There's so many things that you can do, but it starts practice and determination and then keeping at it. Yep. There is no magic pill. There is no magic gym. There is no magic...
This is another thing that a lot of young people fall into. No relationship's going to fix that for you. No relationship will make those things go away. The only thing, you have to love yourself before you can love somebody else. I really believe that, and because it'll always come back around. Because at the end of the day, like, something might happen in that relationship, it might not work out, and then it will hurt even more because you're going through a breakup and you don't like yourself. That's horrible, you know, and I don't want that for anybody. So it's important that you guys, really, really important that you realize that it's so important to work on yourself constantly and to give yourself those positive notes and to, I mean, those things, those are great suggestions. I love them, and I think that they are really, really important, and that it goes for anybody of any age. Like, you can start working on yourself and work on yourself till the day you die. No one's perfect, and no one ever will be, and you're going to make mistakes, and there's going to be slip-backs, but that's life. No one is ever going to, like, reach the ultimate, you know, but you can be the best person you can be, and you'd be shocked at how amazing you really can be.
Absolutely. I love it. Let's talk about your singing for a minute.
Yeah.
I know that this is California. I live in Los Angeles. There are many people singing. There are many people wanting to do this. How do you juggle the nose? Or just juggle, how did you juggle being in school and college and wanting to pursue your passion at the same time?
Yeah, no, of course. I remember at first, the no's, I mean, they definitely can be discouraging. I'm not gonna lie, like to this day, if it's a really big thing and I really wanted it and someone says no, it's still kind of discouraging. But I feel like, I mean, this sounds super simple, and it's not always this simple at first, but it's the best advice that I could say, and the best thing that I've learned over time is just to get back on the horse and just to keep going. Is you can allow yourself that time, if especially. Actually, I had somebody tell me this once, and I thought it was really, really great. They told me, especially with no's and rejections, if it's a small letdown, don't give yourself time to pout. You can just work through it. But if it's a really big thing, and you really, really wanted it, give yourself a couple hours. Go get an ice cream. Go get your nails done. Go do something. Whatever. Watch your favorite movie. It can be anything you want. Go do something. Pout about it. And then move on. Give yourself like that 2-hour window where you're being sad and you're sad for yourself, and then get over it and just keep going and look forward and don't look back. Those things do not define you. If someone continues to say no, the people who are successful in the music business and in singing are the people who don't give up, and the people who are so determined that they will keep going and going and going until they are worked into the ground or something. And so people cannot ignore how hard they work and how amazing they are, and those are the people who get far, not only in music but in life in general. People who really work hard at what they do and who don't take no for an answer. You can't take no for an answer, especially in a business like this. So
I was going to say, you said people that work hard, and it's so easy for us. We see the billboards, we see the magazines, we see the television of people who have become famous, and in our eyes it seems like it's overnight.
Right.
Both know
never overnight. Yeah.
No, so you talk to us about the amount of hours and the practice and the determination it takes, that nothing happens overnight. That
No, honestly, I've actually seen a couple of celebrities who just seems like they popped up out of nowhere. For example, Meghan Trainor. She's this new girl with all about that bass, everything. And she recently was on Ellen, and she was asking her, like, so how did this happen? You just kind of appeared out of nowhere. And she's like, I've been in the business for 7 years. That's what she said. She's like, I've been trying to do this for 7 years, and this is the first time it's actually worked out. So it takes a long time.
Right.
And you gotta be willing to keep going, because I think that's a lot of things. People doubt, or they give up or something like that, and that's a big reason why many don't make it, or it doesn't work out for them. But the best thing that you can do is just never give up. And if you don't give anybody a reason, that's another thing, is a lot of people are gonna expect you to give up, and don't prove them right. Prove them wrong, you know?
Something I say a lot of times is, okay, that door closed. You can kick it, scream it, yell at it, okay.
But it's still closed. Yeah.
Be like, okay, where's my new door? Expect a new door to open for you. The universe.
That's another thing. That's great.
The universe wants you to succeed. So if you're mad at that one door closing, try to practice switching your mindset to, okay, let me focus on where my new door is. What's the new opportunity that's going to present?
Yeah, look forward. Always be looking for new things, because if you're constantly working on it and you're constantly trying to make things happen, they will happen. It will be natural. It's a natural progression like this with anything that you're trying to do with career, no matter what field it's in. It doesn't even have to be music. It could be acting. It could be dance. It could be not even in the arts. If you just are continually working, it's all in a line. It's all your journey, and you can't compare your journey to somebody else's journey. That's the other thing. It's very important. It's very easy to compare, especially in singing and entertainment, and that is so toxic. It's so bad. If you start comparing yourself to all these other people, or people you know, or whatever, they're further than you, you're just catching yourself up in that doubt, and that's not productive. I've done it. I've definitely done it, and especially when I was younger and I started, it was really easy to compare. But I have learned that everybody is on their own path in life, and everyone is handed a different thing in life. Everyone has a different story, and you just have to work on you. Be the best you can be. Improve the person you are, and don't try to be somebody else or try to be better than anybody else. You're just being better than you were in the past.
Absolutely. I love it. Let's go back to your music for a second. So, besides your album being released next year, what are some projects that we could learn about that you're working on, or performances that you have coming up?
Well, one thing that I'm doing is next week, actually, in San Diego, I am performing at the House of Blues, October 21st, which is next Tuesday, and I'll be there with my band. I'm debuting the 2 new singles that I talked about, so look out for that. I'm also going to be performing. I'm going to continue performing at House of Blues in San Diego and hopefully Orange County, LA, all over California with my music as I continue to write and expand my original material. And I am hoping that once the album is done, we are definitely 100% going to be doing another music video. But in the meantime, I have 2 music videos out, and they're on Vivo right now. So
Nice.
look for those if you are interested. The most recent one actually features some of my No Bully work in one of my assemblies, so that was really fun to shoot. So, yeah, if you guys want to check that out.
This is a question that this is a question that I love asking all my followers or guests on the show. Do you have a mantra or a quote, a life quote that you find you live by or that guides you?
Ooh, this is really good.
I can share a couple of mine with you if you need to be inspired.
Sure. Yeah, no, I have a couple. I just one.
What I say often is a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can climb Mount Everest with baby steps. You know, one step at a time will get you to the very top.
Mm-hmm.
Or another one that I say, this one's more of like an affirmation about myself, but I am happy, healthy, and whole, and there is no hole in my soul. In other words, I'm complete just as I am.
That's awesome. I love that.
Thanks.
No, yeah, of course. Like, I'm actually really big on inspiration and everything, and actually I tweet a lot of inspirational quotes. That's like my favorite thing. So I'm like big on that. So that's why I'm like, oh my gosh, just one. I've always loved the Dr. Seuss quote though. That's be who you are and say what you feel, and those who matter won't mind, and those who mind won't matter.
I love it. That's
It's actually very relevant to what we were talking about. And then one of the quotes that has been probably my mantra since I was younger. It's a pretty popular quote, but I think it's deeper than some people realize. And I've actually come back to this full circle recently. I remember when I was little, I loved this quote. And like, I originally saw it on this bookmark that I would always read books with. And I was like, oh, I like it. It was a cool bookmark. And I remember loving that quote. And then recently I've thought about the quote more, and it's like come full circle in my life. And I'm like, wow. It's shoot for the moon. Even if you miss, you'll land among the stars. And the thing that I would love to say about that is when I was younger, I used to think the stars were something, when you're one thing, but that can change. Sorry. Anyway, the stars, what I have learned, can be anything, and they might change over time, even your moon that you're shooting for. Within yourself, you can have a goal. This can apply to anything, I think. This can apply to your self-esteem. This can apply to a lot of different things. If you shoot for that really big top, then you're always going to win. You know?
Yeah.
And that's with career, that's with anything. And even if that top changes for you over time, you're still aspiring to be the biggest and best self that you can be in your life. And even no matter how life works out, if you're aiming for that, there's no way that you can't get up in the stratosphere somewhere. So, yeah.
Absolutely. I love it. Torrey, our time has zoomed by, and it is time to wrap up, believe it or not. Before we go, do you have any last words you want to leave us with?
Sure, yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure. And if I could say a couple of things, I guess I would say to everybody to remember that the most important thing is to be the best person that you can be. If everybody was the best person they could be in life, there wouldn't be any bullies, there wouldn't be any cruelty, there wouldn't be any of that horrible stuff in the world if people were always their best selves. I firmly believe that everybody could be that way, and also just to always remind yourself that there's only one you. You're the most unique and rare you that there ever will be. And even if someone has a similar personality than you, even if there's someone on the other side of the earth who looks like you or has your same name, they're never going to walk a life in your shoes. And you are the only one who's walked your life, and that's valuable. You're the only one with your experiences. You're the only one who has your insight. And so no matter how different you are, that means something. And I honestly think that some of the most successful and the most beautiful people are people who are different and people who other people don't understand, because they provide a new look. You can give other people a new perspective on life if you really look at it that way. And I think any of you guys could do that. Anyone can. Like, I have learned that about myself, and I try to inspire others to do the same and to walk that path too, because I think it's valuable. And if more people did that around the world, then maybe more kindness would be spread. So,
Right.
Yep, that's it.
I love it, Torrey. It's been an absolute pleasure. Please never stop speaking, touring, singing, none of that. We need you, and we love your energy. So
Thank you very much. It's been such a pleasure, and it's nice to meet everybody who's watching. Thank you very much.
Everybody have a good night.
Yes, have a great night, everyone.